let's delve into this a little deeper and get some analysis now from Sandile Swana. Mr. Swana, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Of course, you'll be giving us some political analysis, from yesterday's developments with regards to the mayorship in Johannesburg. Some experts, as you heard just a short while ago, say that Action SA is abusing its powers. Is it about that, or is it about the fact that the legislature does allow them to keep calling a motion of no confidence against mayors they don't see fit?
I think that there is political mistakes that are being made by Action SA, and that they are not the only ones who've made that mistake, but that does not give them a license to repeat mistakes that have been made by others. I'll make an example. Dada Murero became a mayor of the city, and that was reversed because he made mistakes. It was administrative and political mistakes. Yeah. Similarly, at Eburuleni, there were political mistakes. Now, coming to this one, Action SA has been leading a process that for the DA-led coalition to remain in power and Mpopalaza to remain in power, they needed the EFF to stabilize their coalition. The DA rejected that and declared EFF enemy number one, and therefore they do not have support. Today, Ngobeni and Action SA have half the votes that Mayor Gwamanda has. The DA, even if you add them together, they cannot achieve an outcome that is positive. So the only thing that they can do is to disrupt the municipality and not actually improve anything at all. The municipality has had 3 mayors already this year, and it's enough, and that needs to be stopped. So they are abusing the process, and they are making political errors. There's no political astuteness that they are introducing here at all. They are instead demonstrating political ineptitude and lack of political skills at this point in time.
So maybe then the discussion should be about legislature that is implemented to ensure that a motion of no confidence can only be brought forward after a certain period, not so often.
Not only that, bring the motion of confidence also demonstrating the minimum support that you have for it. These people have just been beaten in a free and fair election, and added together both the DA and all the allies of Action SA and Action SA itself, when you add all their votes together, they got 127, Gwamanda got 139. He beat all of them hands down. The 2 competing candidates, both of them got about half of what Gwamanda got. So politically, they have no leg to stand on, let alone that they are bringing spurious and unsubstantiated allegations.
So when I spoke to Funzi Ngobeni yesterday, of course, the leader of Action SA in the Johannesburg region, he was saying that they are okay with sitting on the opposition benches. They just have an issue with the mayor, such as Mayor Gwamanda, who allegedly doesn't attend to council meetings to a point where the speaker has to reprimand him in front of everybody. We've seen as the media, we are unable to get him to speak to us at all. In fact, after his maiden State of the City address, we were spoken to by some of his executive members who were trying to protect him from speaking to us and giving us all sorts of excuses as to why he couldn't attend to our requests. So if they're saying it's not about us wanting to come back onto the seat of governing, we just want a better mayor because this particular one is not working.
The mayor that is working is the mayor that is chosen by popular vote of the councillors. They've done that. We've given them, as the citizens of Johannesburg, they've been given 3 chances already this year alone. We're not counting from 2016 until now. They have been given a fair chance to select a mayor that works. Yeah. Now they want to dictate. They want to dictate how the mayor works. That's the issue now. Is whether the mayor works is another issue, but how the mayor works. If the mayor decides, and the coalition that elected him decides that if you have a question about roads, that question must be answered by the MEC for roads. If you have a question about this, the mayor will direct so and so to answer it. So that is how he works, and that is how he has chosen to work. And he is the elected mayor.
So it's coalition dynamics, just putting an arena of, fraught instability in the city of Johannesburg. But let me ask you this. We've all seen since Herman Mashaba, who is the last stable mayor in the city of Johannesburg, we've had about 8 other mayors. Of course, Mpopalati coming back twice after the court did say that her ousting was actually illegal. But we've had about 8 mayors, and we all remember what happened when Herman Mashaba resigned in 2016. He said it's because the DA takes a top-down approach, and he was calling some of the leaders in the DA bullies, etc., who didn't want him to service the poor. So how does this make the ANC look versus the DA and its coalition partners to residents? Doesn't that make the ANC look like a better devil to deal with, for lack of a better term?
Yes, I think I'll answer the question differently. The DA, starting with how they ousted Mashaba, has played a major role right up until today in creating instability in the city of Johannesburg. We must not run away from that fact. The coalition that is in power now is a creation of the DA. They created that coalition by labeling the EFF enemy number 1, which meant that the EFF was then driven into the ANC side. They fought with the PA and asked the PA to renounce the ANC in all municipalities and break the coalition they are in with the ANC in all municipalities. That pushed the PA to the ANC. They fought with Al Jamaa on the question of Israel, according to public reports, Palestine and Israel. So this is a creation of the DA. And therefore, it is what is given to us. It is also a creation of the voters, and the people who now have the numbers must start to govern. The government of the ANC cannot even, the new government, the government of local unity, cannot even be called a better devil, because they have not been given any chance to work in the little period that they have been in power. Instead, we are called to interviews like this one to discuss spurious allegations that are not taking the city anywhere by people who have lost a free and fair election.
Just lastly, Mr. Swana, some people would say that looking at the amount of seats that Al Jamaa has compared to your DA, or rather your ANC and EFF, which are their coalition partners, they think that perhaps Kabelo Gwamanda is not running the city himself. And in fact, he's being told what to do by the top brass, not even just on a Joburg level, but the top brass of both these political parties, because people are asking themselves, why would you choose a man whose party has such little seats compared to your own? Or is it about the fact that these two bigger political parties don't have anyone within their realm to choose that would be, good enough for the city of Joburg?
I don't want to cast aspersions on Dada Morero, who would probably be one of the candidates, but
yes,
I wouldn't choose it as well. So, but let's look at it from the legal perspective as well. Councils, after a hung municipality has come about, have the right to choose anyone among them to be the mayor. And I foresee that in the coming elections, even 2024, that certain provinces might have premiers who are not coming from a majority party. A person who can bring people together will be the one chosen. The last thing I want to say about this Gwamanda issue is that, by the way, I listened to an interview of the Al Jamaa, and they identified, among other people, Ahmed Kathrada is one of their political or spiritual fathers. So when you talk about the EFF and the ANC and Al Jamaa, you are probably talking about the descendants of the mass democratic movement and the Charterists of South Africa. They come from one school of thought, all of them. So when they agree, it should not surprise us.
You're absolutely correct, because Thapelo Ahmed was actually a part of the EFF before joining Al Jamaa. But Mr. Swana, in terms of the change in mayorship alone between Thapelo Ahmed and now Kabelo Gwamanda, there wasn't really too big a shift in terms of the executive of the mayor, in terms of the MMCs, right? So does that give us some sort of stability in the city of Johannesburg to know that the MMCs that are sent to be looking after the services in different departments stayed the same between these two mayors, or the transition?
Yes, you are correct. Your view is correct. And that view is held by the Premier of the province and the leaders in the Johannesburg Metro, that they considered to Thapelo Ama to resign. They were not changing the coalition or the government of local unity. They just wanted to change the mayor because the previous mayor resigned. So they needed to continue as they were. And they represent right now the stability of the city of Johannesburg going forward until the next election.
Well, good luck to us as the residents of the city of Johannesburg, Mr. Swana, really, because we don't know what might happen with this particular motion of no confidence. It is being discussed on whether or not it will form part of the agenda for the next council. And I just wonder, but in terms of the numbers, I think you're quite right. He might just stay on. That was political analyst Sandile Swana speaking to us there about the instability and coalition squabbles in the city of Johannesburg that have found us getting no services, little or no services here in this big city that is a world-class African city according to government.